Mm. Okay.
Sir, where?
Students are there, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, students will also join.
Okay. Okay. I'm just waiting their faces only.
Yeah, you can talk to the students and so that it is your time. You
They
just
joined, sir. They joined.
yeah, there are 10 students are there. They will join, ma'am. I think 30 students will join. You can ask
Okay.
their faces now if you. It depends on you and your
Yeah,
students.
yesterday I made them to talk to me very personally to
Yes.
introduce themselves. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I this time the class are going in such a way, no, madam. Interactive
Yeah.
session, something like that.
Very good. This
Yes.
really very nice, sir. And
Yes.
students also response was very good.
Yes, ma'am. This time students are very active. Okay. Okay,
Yes, sir.
madam. Thank you. Yes,
Thank you,
take
sir.
care.
Thank you
Yes.
for your cooperation, sir.
It's okay, ma'am. It's our responsibility to do our
Yes,
best
sir.
to the students. Thank you, madam. Yes.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Yeah. Why are you
Morning,
so
ma'am.
late to the class? Hello.
Yeah, ma'am, listening. Please tell.
Yeah. You are busy with your office work.
No,
Good
ma'am.
morning. Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Busy with your work.
No, ma'am.
Yeah. Then
I
why
have
are
joined.
you so late to the class?
No, I'm not late. I think I joined on time.
But then why you are not responding to my wish?
I responded. I said good morning also.
I
think,
was talking to even Radhakrishna, Dr. Radhakrishna sir. You are not there, I think.
I joined 10 minutes late, ma'am.
Oh, that's what. That's what. Now, how many are there in the club? Shall I go
Well,
ahead?
Yeah, 12 members. We can start, ma'am.
Yeah. Where are others are not wishing me nothing? I should see them no daily. From yesterday, I'm looking out you only.
Mm.
Yeah. Others, can you show all? I just want to see your they're coming up. Must be the link is open and they are not in respond, I think. No?
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, Lata.
Yes, ma'am.
Lata, yesterday you talked to me and you just disappeared.
Maunika, ma'am.
Monica. So today is the first class,
No, ma'am. Yesterday also I attended, ma'am.
but then you didn't respond to my you didn't responded to my questions, answers. Like 3 to 4 people are responding. You should respond to my question. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
So that I'll be knowing you people are listening to my this thing or not. Okay.
Oh, okay, ma'am.
Yeah. Next, quick. I just want to have a others are not there. Hurry up. Dear students, Kumar,
Ma'am.
I think nobody is in listening my, they mute themselves, I think.
No,
That is
ma'am.
the
Good
No,
reason.
they are listening, but I think they are not in a position to respond. We can start like
They
they can
don't
listen.
want to show, they don't want to show face.
Yeah, maybe busy with some other work, or maybe they are.
I'm not giving any awards for the faces and all like this. However you are, like I want to see casually. I don't want to label you.
Some maybe in noisy atmosphere. That's why they
Okay.
mute themselves,
Yeah.
but they
Okay.
listen to you.
Yeah. Now, yesterday we stopped at the third unit completed, and now I'm going to go ahead with the fourth unit, approaches to the strategy implementation. Okay. Strategies, implementation, what are the approaches? Usually when we think about any approach, we think about the pre and present and the post. Any approach we think. ఒక విషయం గురించి తెలుసుకోవాలంటే ఇది ఎక్కడి నుంచి వచ్చింది, పిక్చర్ కానీ ఏదైనా ఎనీథింగ్, యు జస్ట్ go back to the prehistory about any content. Similarly, to study any approach, we should have the knowledge about what about the traditional approach and what about the modern and the with the contemporary or general approaches, how your strategies have formulated. Those period, present period, and coming in general period. Okay. So now we'll just go ahead with the traditional approaches. Now, I just want to ask you, from the 3 units, only one, what did you understand by the strategy and how they are formulated? And what are the building blocks? Any idea? Only one line. Only one line.
What is your first question, madam?
What is strategy?
Strategy is action plan.
Yeah. Now, how they are formulated? General. Any idea? Okay. They formulated at the 3 levels. What are the 3 levels we studied yesterday? Corporate, business, and functional. Yeah. Corporate, business and functional strategy, how they are going to take, how they are going to plan, how they are going to implement. So these are formulated under the 3 levels under corporate, business, and the functional. So these levels will be reinforcing each other for achieving the firm's objectives or goals or etc. etc. So these are maybe in external or internal strategies, and here it is mentioned by the Porter's 5 model piece, and the SWOT analysis has done by the Kingsley. And so these are the references he has given how the strategies are formulated at all 3 levels. And what are the building blocks? What are the building blocks?
Resources.
Resources. What are the resources of a human mankind to achieve the competitive advantage in the present scenario of the... So these building blocks, as you said, that they are the efficiency, quality, innovation, customer responses. These are the main characteristics, main elements for the building blocks. Efficiency is needed, quality is needed, innovation should be there, and the feedback from the customers responsiveness. So these are very properly used in Kinsey 7 model. We have studied, no? So this is a rough, brief discussion about how the 3 units have covered. Now coming to the approaches. So these approaches are evolved over a period of 3 decades. So here we going to study how these approaches, that means related to the strategic decision making, differ from organization to organization. It won't be the same for all the organizations, same strategies, it differ. But when it is differ, it depends on the degrees of their work and the degrees of their geographical location also. And about environment, about the culture, how the corporate, and what are the managerial styles, how the company is maintaining their climatic culture, what is the organizational change. So these are the main categories of approaches, from traditional approach to modern approach, and from modern approach to general approaches. How these are evolved from one decade to another, from one approach to another approach. So this we are going to study under the 3 approaches. Now coming with the first main traditional approach, we think it is a simple to solve firms' complex solutions, to understand. And there are 3 additional traditional based approaches. First one will be the design, second one is the planning, and another one is the positioning. So what do you mean by that? These 3 based approaches, that is design, planning, and position. And not only this, there is another type of traditional approach, is the commander approach, organizational change, and Mintzberg. You have studied in the motivational theory, I think, Mintzberg approach, and another Wintington's approach. So there are the modern strategies are implemented for collaboration of and to complement each other. So these are the things are explained in these all 3 approaches, how they are formulated. Coming to the main point, these 3 approaches are classified into 3: traditional, modern, and general. Okay. What are the 3 different approaches? Kumar? What are the 3 different approaches?
Traditional, modern, general.
General. Under the tradition, what are the changes here? What are the plans? What are the strategies? It is a kind of a commander under the traditional. And what is going to be organizational change, and how they are explained with the help of the Mintzberg and Wintington. So these are the covered under the traditional approach. So now we'll just take out only the traditional approach. We coming to the second one, is the modern approach. How these traditional approaches are simple to easy to follow. The managers, how they understood each of them to apply in their business based on the design approach, based on the planning approach, and based on the positioning. Now, what do you mean by design approach? It is nothing but you are taken everything into consideration for the opportunities and the threats that affects a firm's external environment. What are the factors are influenced by the external environments? That means our opportunities and threats. Is it clear? What is the design? Design approach just to follow top-down approach. It is formulated by the top leadership team in the organization. That means it takes consideration about the approaches as well as with the threats, how the external factors are influencing in the environment. Second one is planning. What is planning? Planning is nothing but it is a design, well-designed plan by the experts. Okay. Planning how they'll be doing with the help of the experts in the organization. They frame in such a way for the members to follow. By using this approach, you can solve your problems very easily and take a simple decision step by step. That's it, planning. And third one, positioning approach. Positioning approach is followed by Porter's 5 forces model. What are the Porter's? It is a tool to analyze a firm bargaining power of suppliers, buyers, threats to new, and etc. So these are the competitive forces in the markets where you stand. So these are the certain characteristics we have studied under the Porter's 5 forces model. You have studied, I think, in first and second sem. Is there anything Porter's? In short, I explained you. Now, coming to the another commander approach. This is also called as a traditional method where the firm's chief executive officer creates a suitable plan according to the logical analysis. Either he can formulate strategies or supervises a team of specialists to develop, to carry on. Such tools are studied under for the effective role to be employed. So this approach can be called as a very fruitful because the commanding power and the strategies chosen for how to threat to be implemented in the current management. So for this, you need to have an accurate and timely information to be implemented successfully. So another approach is what is going to be organizational change. So here in the organization, always the members are to be changed according to the strategies. So managers here, the leaders of members of this organization have to change according to the implementation of the strategies. Initially, they are formulated. Then how you are going to reorganize all this company structure? What are the changing? What are the schemes? What are the implementation? What are the behavioral techniques are to be restructured regarding about the staffing, revising, planning, and how you have to control under the organizational atmosphere. So this role will be played by the CEO of the firm to reach new goals. Goals means how the objectives have to be carried on very successfully, how effectively, efficiently have to be carried. So this organizational change is a very good behavior tool to bring a change. To bring a change, it's regarding about the only the good behavioral mechanism. So it deals with the staffing mainly, etc., etc. So these are going to lead the organization for the right path of direction to imply wherever the needed for the organization for the effective strategies. So this is the third dimensional utilized in this approach to provide solutions for the people in the organization. So this is, we are studying only this, what are the different strategies are studied one by one. First one is commander. Under the commander, we have studied three simple things: design approach, planning, and the positioning. Under the command, we are seeing only how the CEO has created a suitable strategy. Under the organizational change, it is a behavioral approach. So you have to remember like this. Under each element, you have to remember what are the content we have to study. Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Any question? Any question where you have not understood? ఎందుకంటే క్లాస్ టైం చాలా పట్టింది స్టార్ట్ చేయనికని I was just rushing out to cover my main points. Anything to be asked? Anything? Hurry up, I'm giving 1 minute time.
No, ma'am.
Madam Raju.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Madam, once planning, once again.
Planning approach. See, we are studying about the traditional approach. Okay. So they focus only on the goals and the objectives, which are led by the senior management of the company to establish. Under the traditional approach, we are covering the main important points about commander. Only we are studying only today, just now started with the traditional approach. In that, commander, organizational change, Mintzberg, and Whittington. So we are covering 4 points under the traditional approach. Okay. Under the commander approach, we are studying another point. Under the traditional approach, there are very simple how you are formulating the strategy, how for applying the rigorous logical analysis you have taken, how the leader develops the strategy and supervise a team of planners for determining optimal course of action for the organization. So mainly they focus only on the goals and objectives. For that, how to design a approach, how to design a planning, how to positioning the approach. So under that, we have designed one. Okay, we have taken all the external environmental factors, how they are influence in our organization. Now, as you asked, then comes planning approach. This planning approach is well designed by the experts. ఏదన్నా ప్లాన్ చేయాలంటే you cannot take your own thoughts and other Intellectual skills you cannot use. Though you have used your intellectual skills, but you are not satisfied. For that, you need to take the expert advisors, isn't it? So with the expert planners within the organization, they frame a strategic process for the members in the organization, where they have to follow and how the problem will be solving to make the decisions for as a simple step-by-step process. They cannot put all together. Step by step, they can go ahead easily. Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes, madam. Yes, madam. Thank you, madam.
Yeah. Now coming to the second commander approach. In this approach, only the strategic leader concentrate only on the formulating the strategies. Either they develop for themselves or supervises a team of planners for achieving the optimal results. Optimal ante best results ela teesukovali with the help of employees, with the help of team. Ante ade commander anamata, commander approach. Ante commander ante you are not dictating, you are getting with the help of the team members of the organization. Then comes the organizational approach. Here, this approach starts with the commander approach. Here ends. With this implementation, a change is more effective than the commander approach. A change, మనుషులో ఒక చేంజ్ వచ్చిందంటే నువ్వు కోపం ఉండేవాడివి శాంతమైనవు అని అంటే ఎంతో చేంజ్ కదా. ఇప్పుడు వెదర్ ఇట్స్ వెరీ హాట్, గివింగ్ ద ప్లెజెంట్ అట్మాస్ఫియర్ అంటే దెర్ ఇస్ అ చేంజ్. Similarly, in the organization, if the rigid rules are there where they are not flexible for the employees, suddenly, by the fortunate of anything, if the rules are flexible, how the pleasant atmosphere will be in the organization? That is a change. That means climate change or organizational change. Lastly, a culture change. The culture where it comes with the help of the behavioral tool. Culture ఏం నుంచి వస్తుంది? కల్చర్ ఎక్కడి నుంచి వస్తుందమ్మా? మనుషులలో?
From elders.
So when you get into the social group only, you will be knowing what is the culture of a man. You cannot sit at home single and see what are the culture outside. You have to study the behavioral culture in the organization. If there is a change, if you are a rigid, your behavior is very adamant. If you have, see, organization behavior also should be there. That is what you have studied in management of organizational behavior. MBA you have studied? To study the behavioral approaches also, you have a n number of tools. No, sorry. You know about the behavioral tools? So many eminent experts have described about the eminent. So here now coming to the Mintzberg. In the Mintzberg, he has described about Henry Mintzberg. His full name is Henry Mintzberg. He's an entrepreneur, he's adaptive, he's a planning. So he has mentioned 3 approaches for the strategic decision making. Very short, I'm explaining. Okay, now coming to the last one, Whittington's approach. Here he broadly gave 4 groupings. What are they? Classical, evolutionary, processual, and systematic. So companies aim for the profit maximizing whether the strategy is deliberate or emergent. Here you study how this organizational change approach initially formulated strategy and how they have executed, how they have implemented. This Henry Mintzberg approach has classified various modes of strategy decision making into entrepreneur. Not only this, opportunistic approach, adaptive planning, and logical incremental approach. He has described very lengthy in other chapters. If you go through here, he has given in your book very less. If you go through one by one, this approach, what is the main objective of entrepreneurial? It's only a visionary founder guides. If you look into your material, there is a table mentioned very clearly how to understand under the different 4 approaches, what are the main objectives of. If we have book, you can open. Is there? And what is the adaptive, how you are reactive decision for solving the problems, and how the systematic and structured decision making integrated with the strategies, and how the combination of entrepreneur adaptive and formal structure approaches have found for to see the maximization of profits with the help of the strategies. So these are the theories are studied, and they are categorized into 4 perspectives. Okay, is it clear?
Madam,
Yeah, is it clear?
winning for classical and second evaluation.
No.
And
Classical approach, processual. Processual.
Process.
PROCESSURAL.
Okay.
అంటే ఏంటిది? You have to process అంటే ఒక పద్ధతి, ఒక ప్రకారంగా.
Okay.
There you have to follow the rules, and what are the routine elements are already existed in the form, and how the people are to be executing their rules to achieve their goals as followed, and it is focused only in the internal development by crafting the firm's core competencies. నువ్వు లోపలనే చేస్తున్న, దిస్ ఇస్ ఇంటర్నల్ ఎన్వైరన్మెంట్ అప్రోచ్. ప్రాసెస్ అంటే నీది ఎలా రూల్స్ రెగ్యులేషన్స్ ఆర్ ఫ్రేమ్డ్, హౌ యు ఆర్ ఫార్ములేటింగ్ ఓన్లీ ఇన్ ద ఇంటర్నల్ అప్రోచ్, how you are achieving goals by the agreed upon, and how you have implemented is mentioned in the processual approach. Third one వచ్చి evolutionary. Evolutionary అంటే ఏంటి? You are constantly evolving the markets under the unpredictable for huge investments in strategic planning. అంటే ఏంటి? నువ్వు నీ పాత షాప్ ని కొత్తగా చేయాలనేదనే దానికి యు ఆర్ ఇన్వెస్టింగ్ హ్యూజ్ అమౌంట్. వై యు ఆర్ ఇన్వెస్టింగ్? టు గెయిన్ మోర్. ఎవల్యూషనరీ అంటే ఒక 1 నుంచి సెకండ్కి వచ్చావు, పాత నుంచి కొత్తగా వచ్చావు, ఓల్డ్ నుంచి న్యూకి వచ్చావు. వై యు ఆర్ ఎవాల్వింగ్ దట్? మొదట ఎట్లుంది దాన్ని కొంచెం మార్చి దాన్ని వేరే పద్ధతిగా చెయ్యాలి, దాంట్లో ఇంకా ఎక్కువ లాభాలు రావచ్చు అనే ధీమాలనే ఉంటారన్నమాట. సిమిలర్లీ ఇన్ ద ఆర్గనైజేషన్, always the top level management seeks only a change. How to evolve this markets under the unpredictable manner by investing huge investment. They believe with the high profitability, with the efficiency for the long run survival of the business. So there they have to maintain their cost, they have to increase their efficiency, and what are the other elements have to be taken care, how fitted it followed, what are the changes to be induced in the strategy or as well as with the firms have to be existed, and how this strategy is successful by the leaders. Leaders means managers only. Now who? So this about the evolutionary approach. It is mainly emphasizes on the economic environment. Okay, this evolutionary approach is concentrate only on the economic environment. ఎలా మార్చాలి, ఎలా లాభాలు తేవాలి, అంతే. Simple to remember. Is it clear?
Yes, madam.
Yeah. Now coming to the next one, systematic approach. Here you have to follow the strategies in a అంటే మనది కాంప్లెక్స్ ఎన్వైరన్మెంట్ కదా. With the help of the culture, our objectives and practices are based on the social system. So ఈ social system లో when they are concerned, they are very socially sensitive. What are the outcomes, what are the process are connected to the nature of the local social systems. The company should operate in a relevant manner, particularly to the social context. Systematic approach ఏంటంటే సింపుల్ గా అర్థం చేసుకునేది ఓన్లీ ఇన్ ద కాంప్లెక్స్ ఎన్వైరన్మెంట్ అండ్ హౌ ఆర్ కల్చరల్లీ డిఫైన్డ్. ఎలా పద్ధతిగా మనుషులకి అందుబాటులో ఉన్నది, అంతే. సింపుల్ గా అర్థం చేసుకోవాలా. Is it clear? Under the traditional approach, we have covered this. Now coming to the modern approach, we study, you have, I think, no, categorization is there under the modern approach. We study under the modern approach collaborative, culture, receive. 3 points we are studying under the modern approach. Okay.
Madam, collaborative
approach. ఒక క్లాసిఫికేషన్ వేయండి. ట్రెడిషనల్ లో 4, మోడర్న్ లో 3. కొలాబరేటివ్.
మేడం
ఏమా?
థర్డ్ వన్ కొలాబరేటివ్.
థర్డ్ వన్ క్రెసివ్. CRES CIVU. Cresive. ఓకే. ఈ 3 ఈ మోడర్న్ అప్రోచ్ లో ఏం చేంజ్ తీసుకొచ్చింది మోడర్న్ లో? ఈ మోడర్న్ దిస్ అప్రోచ్ ఎక్స్టెండ్ ద స్ట్రాటజిక్ డెసిషన్ మేకింగ్ టు ద ఆర్గనైజేషన్ ఆఫ్ ద టాప్ మేనేజ్మెంట్ టీమ్ ఇన్ ఆన్సర్. అంటే how I can get my top management team to help the development, how to commit to a good set of goals, strategies, ఇవన్నీ అనుకుంటా ఉంటారు అన్నమాట వాళ్ళ క్వశ్చన్స్ కి. సో how they are formulating these proposed strategic changes అనేది. సో ఈ అప్రోచ్ లో the leader ante always you think of manager only. Okay, so these leaders always have the group dynamics and brainstorming techniques to get managers with the different points of view to contribute for their planning process. Collaborative ante enti asalu meaning in general. Here what happens, CEO in the company always motivates the senior manager. Collaborative ante enti, in the approach, in the collaborative manager, always the CEO motivates the senior manager to assist in planning process for the organization by the wholehearted success. ఇప్పుడు ఏంటి, నేను ప్రిన్సిపల్, మీరు వైస్ ప్రిన్సిపల్ ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్. ఓకే, హలో, హలో,
Hello.
are you listening?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am. Listening.
Under the collaborative approach, here we study in this approach how the collaborative approach is understood. Here only the CEO motivates the senior manager to assist in planning process. Like if you are a principal, I am the vice principal. Principal has all the right to take his own decision. But in the modern approach, it is not like that. Always principal is called vice principal in decision making. Whether I can do it, whether I can follow it, is it feasible, is it flexible, is it can be carried on, aneti ilanti anni strategies senior అంటే ఎవరు, ఇంకా వైస్ ప్రిన్సిపలే కదా ఆయనకి నెక్స్ట్. సో లైక్ దట్ ఇన్ ఎనీ ఫర్మ్ ఆర్ ఎనీ ఆర్గనైజేషన్, CEO always motivates the senior manager to involve in decision making to take up for the successful, smooth growth of the environment. So here you understand the collaborative. Now coming to the cultural approach, here is nothing but it gets together not only by the top leaders but also the middle and the lower level. అందరినీ కలుపుకుంటాడు అనమాట ఇక్కడ టు ఇంప్లిమెంట్ స్ట్రాటజీస్. అండర్ ద క్రిసిసివ్ అప్రోచ్, హియర్ ఓన్లీ ద సజెస్ట్ ద గ్రోయింగ్ స్ట్రాటజీస్ షుడ్ కమ్ విత్ ఇన్ ద ఫర్మ్ and how the leader is involved in making his manager come forward and how the sound strategies are be championed. Is it clear? Very short I have explained you. Last one is criticism approach is only but you have to how I can encourage my manager to develop, how he can become a champion, how to implement sound strategies అనే దాంట్లోనే he'll be involved in this process. Now coming to the last one, general approach. In the general approach, you study what? General approach లో ఏం చదువుతారు? You have industrial organization. Are you writing? Are you writing?
Yes, ma'am, we are writing.
Third category is general approach. Under that, you are studying 3: industrial organization, resource based, and sociological. Finished? So general approach lo we have 3 models. 3 models are complement to each other. How? The industrial organization model only emphasizes on the industry. how the company operates, and what is the impact, how the performance is, how the manager decides within the organization. So these are the main impact of the industrial organization. How they influence and the firm strategies, actions based on their assumptions, how the resources used to be implemented with high mobile across the firms. So ఈ approach లో industrial organization model లో you adapt only the external perspective to explain that forces outside the organization dominates the influence on firm strategies. What are the actions taken? Now coming to the next one, social approach. Here under the social approach model, believes only that companies are the parts of the society and to achieve success. So this company must act as per the social norms. Social norms prakarangane ee approach has to be followed. This model has to be followed. Now another one, last one is resource based approach. This model sees only the resources are the key to the superior for doing performance. If a resource exhibits, it enables the firm to gain and compete with the competition under the present scenario. So this we are covering the approaches. Now coming to the block 2. Is it clear? Block 2, we are studying, write the heading, environmental analysis. Are you listening?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Now block 2, ఎట్లంటే సింపుల్ గా గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవాలా అప్రోచెస్. డోంట్ కాంప్లెక్స్ హియర్ ద పాయింట్స్. ఓకే, ఒక క్లాసిఫికేషన్ వేసుకోవాలా, మోడర్న్, ట్రెడిషనల్, మోడర్న్ అండ్ జనరల్ వేసేసుకొని ముగ్గురిది రాసేసి ఎలా 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 డిస్క్రైబ్ చేశారని 2 lines ఒక మెయిన్ పాయింట్ గుర్తుపెట్టుకొని యూ క్యాన్ రైట్ ద హిస్టరీ అబౌట్ ఇట్. Is it clear? They are very easy to follow. Only you have to understand what is what. Now coming to the next block 2, we are studying how this environmental analysis are studied. Okay, shall I start? Yes, ma'am. Somebody speaking to me, what is that?
Nothing, ma'am.
Anybody ask me any question? Yeah, now coming to the environment analysis. First manam environment ante enti, you should know. What do you mean by simple? What is the nature of the environment? Anyone can tell me? Simple to remember. ఇప్పుడు మనం ఉన్నాం, ఎన్వైరన్మెంట్ ఏంటి, చుట్టుపక్కల వాతావరణం ఎలా ఉంది అనేదే కదా. హలో,
Yes, madam.
so in this environmental analysis, first you should know what is nature, what are the concept. So in the business organization, the environment is nothing but it means the surrounding with the external objects, how factors are influencing, what are the circumstances when it comes, how something is exits. So this is very complex factor. You cannot say that influence of all. It can be politically, socially, technically, etc., etc. It can influence in any manner in the environment. When you talk about the business environment, in the business environment, internal environment and external environment, you should know how it is exist in internal environment and how the factors influence on the external. So that means a change in both the ways, how they are getting affected. So since the environment influences an organization in many ways, you cannot describe with one characteristics. So some are very complex, others are very dynamic, others are very multifaceted, others are very far reaching. You cannot depend, it is very critically. So these all, any environment change has an impact on the organization in very several ways. So these components can be studied under the components of environment. Under the components of environment, you can study micro environment and as well as with the macro environmental. Micro ante endi small, macro ante big. So micro, you are studying internal environment ante within the organization. Macro ante outside the environment, that means external environments. Mood okate peru, don't get confused. If they ask micro environment is same or external environment also is same. Is it clear? Is it clear? Is it clear? Hello? Put down. Hello?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Yeah, suddenly people are disappearing. Yeah. Now, where we are, can you tell me? We are studying about the components of environment. Under this, we are studying the components of environment is classified into two categories. First one is micro environment. Another one is macro environment. Okay. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Under the micro environment, what are the specific groups are involved within the organization? How it is going to function directly with a particular course of functioning. So here, what are the groups? First one is customers. Second one, who will be there within the organization? Hello. Second one will be the competitors. Third one will be the suppliers, investors, marketing, intermediaries. So these are all included in the micro environment. Okay. So my customers intend the people who pay money, buy and the products, what are the services are provided, how the customers determine their nature, and how the products are, how the services are, all detailed things, how the manufacturer, distributors are concerned about the quality and how the delivery and what is the services are provided timely, how the so you are all covering etc with the customers. So micro environment consists of customers, competitors గురించి వచ్చేవరకు ఏంటి, how the organization, అంటే any organization that fails to meet the need of its customers as effectively do. Ante competitors cannot survive for a long time. In many cases, it is not only necessary that customer and the competitors are both determine products or services can be sold at whatever the prices. Today, an organization must be innovative and efficient in order to cope up with the competitors. So it must face not only the direct competitors, but also with the suppliers and the other substitute products and services. For example, any airlines faces any direct competition, other airlines are indirect competition like railways, bus operators, taxi, etc. So others also should be standby for the competition. Understood? Now coming to the next one, suppliers. So this is another, manufacturers are more concerned about the cost availability and how they are increasing attention to the supply environment. So these are all etc. You are you are, how the people and the groups which supply inputs to the firm. So in short, if you think any organization must acquire raw materials, labor, equipment, etc., in order to produce their products and services. For example, in case of raw material, any organization must ensure a steady means steady and thoraga supply of high quality at the minimum possible prices. సో సప్లయర్ అలా అందుబాటులో ఉంటేనే మనకి ఇంటర్నల్ ఎన్వైరన్మెంట్ లో తక్కువ ఎక్కువ యూ క్యాన్ సీ విత్ ద రీజనబుల్ అకౌంటెంట్. Now coming to the next, investors and the marketing intermediaries. So investors are the owner or as well as the creditors who provide finance for the company or any organization. So they obtain the financial resources even from the shareholders also, even from the debenture holders also. Not only that, even from the banks also. And lastly, even from the financial institutions also, they're all the financial resources for the company. So during the period of their, you can easily buy and sell shares and debentures according to the depend on your transaction. And lastly, marketing intermediaries are nothing but they can be the individual or the houses who come into the aid of the company for promoting, selling and distributing. So they can be they can be even the intermediaries ante mana vastuvalu tayarainaka pettukunnanka you can give it to a wholesaler or a retailer or a supplier or any agent, distributor, marketing service agencies, or even the financial institution. So most of the companies find it's too difficult to reach the customer. So in such cases, you require agents and distributors to help the product to reach the consumer. So these are come under the internal or micro environment. What about the macro environment? This is very important question. It is an examination point of view. You are going to get 100%. Every year this question occurs many times. So you have to thorough enough with the micro and macro environment. Under the macro environment, it refers what are the forces directly influencing. First one is demographic, second one natural, economic, legal, political, cultural, technical, international environment. So these are all the external factors which are influencing our environment. Should I explain you in detail this one? Hello? This is very, very common to hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Shall I move to the industry analysis?
Yes, ma'am.
So now you understood micro environment and the macro environment?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Coming to the now next one, how this industrial analysis work in the organization. So industry analysis involves analysis through fragmented industries, consolidated industries. Based on this environment, the industries are basically of two types. So when you study industry analysis, you can study the industry environment. ఈ ఎన్వైరన్మెంట్ చదవాలంటే టూ టైప్స్ ఉంది, ఫ్రాగ్మెంటెడ్ ఇండస్ట్రీ అండ్ కన్సాలిడేటెడ్ ఇండస్ట్రీ. Fragment industry is one where the industrial or service units remain scattered all over the country for a period of or a particular geographical region. How the fragment industry consists of a large number of small or medium-sized companies, how they are determining industry price. Many fragmented industries are categorized by low entry barriers. And commodity type products are hard to differentiate. How the absence of market leaders, none of the units have a king size market shares, none of them have. So these are the certain examples for the fragmented industries, which have, some of them are have a health clinic, restaurants, hotels, automobiles, repairing, etc., etc. So these are the fragmented industries analysis you are studying under. One second, Radhakrishna sir is calling me. I'll just answer. Hello. Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah. Under the industry analysis, you can study, it is a market where the assessment tools are designed to provide a business with an idea of complexity of any particular industry. It involves reviving the economic, political, and market factors that are influence the way the industry develops. So this industry analysis is a tool that facilitates a company's understanding of its position at work. In overall the industry, in the industry, where it is facilitating the company to understand its position relatively to other companies that produce a similar product or a service. Understood? So industrial analysis is a tool that facilitates a company's understanding of its position relative to other companies that produce a similar product or service. So understanding these forces at the work in overall industry is an important component of an effective strategic planning. Is it clear? So it involves reviving the social, economic, political, etc., where these market forces are influencing the industry to develop. Now, coming to the next point, you are studying how this market structure is studied under the monopoly, oligopoly, competition between imperfect competition or a perfect competition. You all studied under the market structures, I think. In economics, did you study how the market plays role in the,
Price determined.
yeah?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're all how the industry is structured under this. You have like a pure monopoly is only one seller in the market. There is no other product, like Indian Airways or electricity boards are the best example for the monopoly. Okay, Geo. You can go ahead with the Geo also. There is no other price taker. So what is oligopoly? There are only few sellers in the market which have no product differentiation. Ante any price change by one seller affects the other price also. For example, Tata Motors, any vehicle, if you take Ashok Leyland, Tata Motors, etc., these are all the competitor based on the price and the location. What is a pure competition? It is a perfect competition where there are large number of buyers and the sellers. So there is no based on the single seller who controls over the price, like steel, sugar, cement, etc., etc. And what is the monopolistic competition? There are very large number of sellers with differentiated products. With highly differentiated, we have highly customers and enjoy the monopoly power. But there is a competition due to several sellers. With the combination of monopoly and this monopolistic competition, each industry structure provides different opportunities and threats. So you have to study all these structures in the industry, how it takes care at the marketplace. And lastly, if you see how the industry attractiveness and how it is performance will be both in the industry environment, exercises a significant role for influencing all the strategies. So it differs from industry to industry over a period of time. For example, if you think any industry will require a different strategy with a different nature of. Moreover, business strategies will or must be aligned with the changing environment of the industry. ఎప్పుడైనా you have to align. Alignment అంటే మార్చాల. దాంట్లో కలిసిపోవాలి. ఎలా ఉందో వాతావరణం అలా మీరు తిరగాలి అనేది అన్నమాట. అలా నడుచుకోవాల, ముందుకు పోతూ ఉండాల with the successful effective results. So these are the industrial analysis you have to taken care with all these factors, how it is changing. Is it clear? Now coming to the competitive analysis. So in this competitive analysis, you will be studying Porter's 5 forces. So competitive analysis is the last analysis in the industrial structure. How marketing means like competition analysis in marketing, and strategic management is an assessment for the strategy, strengths and weaknesses for any current or potential competitors. So here you are studying in this competition analysis, provides both context to identify the opportunities and threats. So all these aspects are explained in detail. That means it is a continuous process. Competition analysis is nothing but it is a continuous process which includes identification of current and potential competitors. Not only this, it provides ongoing monitoring of actions undertaken by the government revivals in all the key aspects for their operational measures. So you can study any change in the force normally requires a business to reassess the marketplace given overall the change in the industrial formation. So ఇవన్నీ ఎలా అట్రాక్టివ్ అవుతుంది అని అంటే the firms are able to apply with their core competitions with the business models can achieve a profit. So for this, a clear example was given like airlines industry. So this can be studied under the Porter's 5 forces based on the structure, conduct, performance in the organizational structure. You can study Porter's 5 forces, which includes 3 forces. Horizontal, you can study. Are you listening?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Now we are studying about what? We are studying about the competition analysis. How this competition analysis is studied. In short, if you think, what do you mean by competition analysis? It is a continuous process which includes identification of current and potential competitors. So to follow this, you need to have a continuous monitoring of actions undertaken by the market rivals. Understood? So what are the strategies you have to assess for the strengths and weaknesses of the current, and how this you are going to identify the opportunities and threats. So this will be studied under this competition analysis. So there he has given a best model to be studied under any industry. Profitability is low or yet in individual companies by applying the unique business models. One example is given under the Porter's 5 forces, which includes 3 forces by horizontal competition. That means a threat of substitute products and the services threat of any rivals or threat of any new entrants. And two forces are vertical competition, that means bargaining power of suppliers or bargaining power of customers. So these POTUS 5 forces is based on the structure, conduct, performance in the organizational economics. It has to be applied to diverse the range of problems from helping business and again from profitably to help the government stabilize the industries. So this was the industrial analysis we have completed. Is it clear? Now, after this industrial analysis, we are studying now how this environmental scanning has to be done. What actually scanning is? Scanning is nothing but you are examining, you are studying the environment of a business in order to identify its structure. What are the chances to be? What do you mean by that? Observing the business environment with the both external and internal. How to understand? What are its implications? And how these business opportunities are? How it involves risk and uncertainties in the business unit. So this business environment is a dynamic in nature. It always changing according to the environmental culture. So this environmental scanning has to be quick and regular. Means that timely you should on time to scan it. So when you are doing with this kind of scanning, you can search microscoping of all internal environments, which provides a very good formulating plan and strategies. And if you think in short, you can monitor the relevant matter to identify the opportunities and the threats affecting their business, to know how the business has to be taken care. So it is nothing but environmental scanning is done. In short, to know what do you mean by environment scanning means, it is a process by which organization always monitor their environment to identify opportunities and threats which is affecting their business. Are they environmental scanning? Is it clear? Is it clear? What do you mean by environmental scanning?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Now, what is it is importance of? By performing this environmental analysis, you can learn about the strengths, you can learn about the opportunities, how they are available, and how the threats are taking, and what type of knowledge you should have this to take a decision in your business to reform your business strategies. So it is not only this, you can determine the resources in such a manner how the human resource as well as with the capital resource were properly used to cut down the wastage of this. Not only this, a constant environment scanning also helps the organization to learn more about the threats and opportunities. So lastly, if you conclude with the importance, it also helps to learn more about the business strategies of your competitors. You can take good ideas, you can take potential ideas from the strategies You can also form very, very accurate strategies. You can give a check to the competitors. So when the data is collected from the environmental scanning, which plays a very important role in the long run. So therefore, the environmental scanning always helps to stay connected with the consumers. That means in short, if you think, you always will be knowing the changing expectations of your consumers, what type of services they needed accordingly. Is it clear? And what are the factors to be considered, like events, trends, issues? What are their expectations? How important? What is the occurrence of taking place? And what are the general tendencies, course of action while events are taken place? What are the issues? So these are the certain factors which include in our factors to be considered in the thing. Now coming to the approaches to the environmental scanning. Here you study these approaches can be studied under the three categories. So these categories are explained through CUP. So under him, he has mentioned three approaches: systematic approach, ad hoc approach, and processed form. Are you there? Here?
Yes, ma'am.
Where are we now?
Approaches to environmental scanning.
Yeah. So now, according to the curve, three approaches as given: systematic, ad hoc. What are the three approaches? To remember in short: systematic, ad hoc, processed form. So these are used for sorting the information for the environmental scanning. So in this addition to collecting information from various sources, including internal, external, and formal studies, also undertaking for the forecasting to draw certain estimates about the future and developed scenarios. So these are some of the methods and techniques are used under the environmental scanning. So you can study in detail with the material very broadly. Is it clear? Now, why it is needed for the environmental scanning? Because it is needed because it has a prime influence on effectiveness of business strategies. If the strategic planning is not done without considering environment, it is likely to be a failure. No, environment neglect chesi, if you follow your strategy, is totally defective. So according to the environment, you have to take the strategies. If the environmental factors are not taken into consideration, you are very, very defective in your thing. Now, what is the tool to anticipate the change? Here you can see environmental scanning is very useful tool, not only to understand the business surrounding, but also plays a anticipating the changes, and how to prepare to face the challenges of such change, and how a business unit cannot change business activities overnight. There you needed time to adjust with the change of the environment. If it has to face the change in environment suddenly, it is possible to make immediately according to the demand of change environment. But if it's necessary only, otherwise you need to give time to the company to get adjusted with the changed environment. That is very, very important. How early warnings will be given for the scanning? Here, in the environmental scanning, gives always a advance warning. That means danger signals, adverse signals, means to help the company to design their mechanism to avoid future effects of environment of the business activities. For example, if you think with the changing marketing environment, many companies are also adopting online marketing to survive its competition environment. So this is a good example for our environmental scanning. So here we conclude with the why it is need and how the factors are affecting with the strategies related with the factors and related with the other organizational, and how the environmental factors are influencing to each other. So coming to the last point, what are the methods and techniques are used to follow in the environmental scanning? What are the methods they used? In short, threats and opportunities, and how the environmental factors are listed, which is divided, which is clearly studied under the rate of economic growth, rate of influential fiscal policy. That means these are all the environmental factors, and you can assess impact of each factor closely. It is impacted closely when you assess and expressed in a qualitative manner to be noted and identified. So these are the small degrees of impact. So this impact is assessed as positive or negative. To get a big picture, you can combine to produce a summary overall with the given strategies. You can change according to the threats and the opportunities. Here in this, you can follow, there are another pastoral analysis. It is a checklist. PESTEL means it is an abbreviation of political, economic, social, and technical, environmental, legal, and analysis. These are all the checklist. For example, if you think what are the political factors, all government involved, all political actions. Coming to the what are the economic factors, your growth rate, interest rate, inflation, exchange rate, levels of disposable income, federal government, etc., etc. If you think about social factors, what is the population size, what are the number of birth rate, death rate, and how per capita income, what is the small size and structure, what are the beliefs and the religious, what are the educational, etc., etc. These are all come under the social factors. What are the technical factors? All automation, how the research and development activity taken, what is the technological change, what are the level of innovations are taken by the external environmental factors. So these environmental factors are nothing but weather, climate, what are the policies, climate changes, natural disasters, recycling. So these are all the environmental factors. Last one will be the legal factors. Legal factors is nothing but your discrimination of laws. That means you can see consumer protection law, copyright law, patent law, health and safety law, educational law, protection cell law, consumer protection cell law, etc., etc. So these are the factors studied under the pestle analysis. It is a checklist to analyze political, economic, and cultural, legal, or studied how they are analyzed with the economic factors. Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Now I'll wind up with this. It's more 7 minutes, I think. Should I conclude this organizational analysis? I don't think so. I'll conclude within 7-8 minutes. I need a few more time to complete. So tomorrow I'll conclude 7th unit. Now, 8 minutes or more.
Yeah.
Should I continue? I don't think I'll cover 1 year unit like.
Okay, madam. You need not to worry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I request students to switch on your video so that we can able to take photo.
Hardly two, I think. They're showing me faces. I don't know, others are into other job.
Okay. Students, I think they are not listening, I think so.
That's what. Only is one
Yes.
student is responding. Okay, no problem.
Yes, ma'am. I'm just checking.
Yeah.
Okay. So, enough. It's okay, ma'am.
Yeah. I can leave?
Students, I think, yes, you can leave, ma'am.
Yeah.
Today, evening class is not there, like Anantana ran, sir. Yesterday, he has spoken that, he will not able to take due to some exam duty or something like that. I asked him to compensate the classes in the coming classes. Okay, he will cover the total classes within the time. Okay, if it is not covered, and we will plan for 1 day, like I will talk to the technical department. Okay, so whenever we get, we will accommodate the remaining missing classes also. Okay, so for today it is end of the day. Okay, have a nice day.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Hello. Is there anything to share?
No, sir. Thank you.
Do I need to close it now? Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everyone. And tomorrow the session will be started at 10 o'clock only. Okay. Need not to worry. Whether he has a program or not, I will ask him to attend at 10 only. Okay. There is no option of early in the morning at 9:30 or something like that. Okay, Uday Kumar, you are staring something, I'm leaving now.